Yo, what is up, folks? It's your boy Sports PSP. Welcome to another episode of Commanders Demand. Folks, it is a horrible, disgusting ass day in the East Coast. Raining outside. And yes, I'm coming off, as well as Commanders fans, an embarrassing, awful, horrendous, disgraceful performance we had to witness yesterday as our Commanders lost 37-3 against the Buffalo Bills. A lot of stuff I'm going to get into. So, folks, I got an awful lot to say. And please stay tuned because Commanders Demand starts right now.
You're watching Commander's Demand with your host, Sports PSP, exclusively on the Grid Network.
What is good, folks? It's your boy Sports PSP in the building. Hope everyone is enjoying a fantastic Monday morning. I certainly, damn sure for a fact, am not having a good day right now. And it's because, in large part, of what I had to witness yesterday as the Washington Commanders lost 37-3. That's right, folks. 37-3 against the Buffalo Bills. Now, look, I previously predicted that Washington was going to lose this game because, again, the Bills were just the better team. Bills coming into this game, they were 6.5 point favorites. The only way that Washington would have any chance of winning is what type of performance that we saw from Josh Allen. What type of performance are we going to see from Josh Allen? Josh Allen only had one interception in that game yesterday against the Commanders. Are we going to see the Josh Allen like we saw on Monday Night Football when he gave up so many turnovers? Or are we going to see the Josh Allen that was close away from entering his second consecutive AFC Championship appearance? And unfortunately, it was overshadowed by the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. A lot, man, to stomach to this game. And I'm going to give you all my reasons as to why the Commanders lost. Reason why the Commanders lost, as I said, folks, Bills were the superior team. Prior to that game, they were 6.5 point favorites to win. It was predictable that Buffalo was going to take care of business. Even though I predicted the Bills to win, it's entirely another thing to get incredibly blown out. Washington, they were absolutely blown out by this game from start to finish. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was hard to stomach. It was that frustrating of a game to watch. I mean, you got to give credit to Buffalo. I mean, they ran the ball well. Look at it, 43 carries for 168 yards, which is an average of 5.1 yards carry. 2 touchdowns, one to Josh Allen, another one to Latavius Murray. And look at the turnover battle. We only had 1 turnover in that game. Meanwhile, for Washington, we had 5. And speaking of turnovers, let's get into turnovers in just a second. Sam Howell got awful. It was bad. Look, I understand this is his first year as a starter. And look, he's going to have some growing pains. But that was just a putrid performance. Interceptions, he made bad reads. Yes, there were times that the offensive line didn't give him enough protection in the pocket. But at the same time, some of the decisions he made, they were just awful. Sam Howell was just that bad, folks. I mean, if you look at the numbers, 19 of 29, only 170 yards, 4 interceptions. In that game, was sacked 9 times. 9. I've been talking about how bad the offensive line has been for the Washington Commanders, but Sam Howell has been doing an awful job getting rid of the football. Right now, as you look at it, folks, Sam Howell leads the NFL in sacks. He's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL currently right now. If he continues to get hit like this, I'm not even sure if we're going to have him for the remainder of the season. We're probably at some point going to have to put in Jacoby Brissett because I don't know how much Sam Howell's going to take that type of punishment. I mean, bad interceptions in the red zone. The pick six he threw to AJ Epinanza in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was just bad. It was just that bad of a game. I mean, that's the type of performance that you gave. Now, look, credit to Buffalo. I mean, they're a really good team. They're still going to be in the conversation for one of the best teams to come out in the AFC. But the bottom line is this: our offense was just putrid, fucking embarrassing. At one point, it was 37-0. Turnovers was that's what killed us. The turnovers, that's what killed us. You can't win a game when your quarterback has thrown 4 interceptions and when also Antonio Gibson with the lost fumble. You can't win a game like that and expect to come back and win. No. Washington, the turnovers, that's what's killing us. Last week, we did an excellent job taking care of the football against the Denver Broncos when we came back from an 18-point deficit. We had 0. The season opener, we did have 3 turnovers. We can't win this way. We've committed 8 turnovers in 3 weeks. Washington so far on offense in terms of taking care of the football has been utterly sloppy. That's on the players. That is also on Eric Bieniemy as well. As much credit and as much love as I give Eric Bieniemy, he has to take a boatload of culpability on that because after all, he is the offensive coordinator. He's the one responsible for calling the plays. You can't win in this league if you're committing that many turnovers and think you're going to come back and win, especially a team like Buffalo. So, point number 1, we damn sure for a fact did not take care of the football. Turnovers, that's what killed us. And it was just an overall sloppy game. Then my next problem, and speaking of Eric Bieniemy, not running the ball enough. Brian Robinson Jr. in that game had 10 carries for 70 yards. His longest carry of the game was 23 yards. Sam Howell did have 1 rush for 18 yards. Antonio Gibson 2 of 17. Why not run the football more? 13 carries? We only had 13 carries collectively as a team. 13 carries for 105 yards, which is an average of 8.1 yards a carry. Eric Bieniemy, it wouldn't kill you if you ran the ball a lot more. This is not Kansas City's offense. Their game is heavily relied on throwing the football. Sam Howell is not Patrick Mahomes. What we do best on offense is run the ball, move the chains. Yes, we do have exceptional wide receivers. Terry McLaurin, of course, one of the top 10 receivers in the game. We also have a very good number 2 wide receiver in Jahan Dotson. We also have a very good deep threat in Curtis Samuel. But he must run the football. We got to move the ball. We got to move the chains. That is what we do best. You can't ask someone who's in their first year as a starter to throw the football that much. Sam Howell is not Patrick Mahomes. Even though I think Sam Howell will be a solid quarterback on the NFL level, he's nowhere near Mahomes, man. So the enemy, mix it up, run the ball more, have the offense more balanced. You see how Sam Howell was yesterday, throwing bad picks, getting sacked constantly. He was sacked 9 times. Why not run the ball? So to me, by you not running the football and heavily relying on throwing it, knowing that your quarterback is giving turnovers and getting constantly sacked, fucking clueless. Absolutely fucking clueless on the part of Eric Bieniemy. I hate saying that, but at the same time, it's the bottom line. That performance, I mean, that was just awful. Putrid. Play calling was just putrid, and Eric Bieniemy deserves a lot on this. He's not getting absolved. Sam Howell deserves culpability as well because the decisions that he's made. But it would be nice if an offensive coordinator, especially someone as experienced and knowledgeable as Eric Bieniemy, to say, okay, our offensive game is not working. We're constantly getting sacked. Our quarterback is making bad decisions. He's struggling against this Bills passing defense. It would incredibly help us if we ran the ball more. I mean, you, Eric Bieniemy, you of all people, you couldn't see that? I mean, that's just fucking unacceptable. It's just fucking unacceptable. I mean, the running game was going. Incorporate the running game more. Not that fucking hard. I mean, we were trailing 16 to nothing in the second half. You could have ran the ball on a couple of occasions in the red zone instead of asking Sam Howell to throw the football. I mean, that to me is just dumb. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all if Ron Rivera was responsible. If Ron Rivera was responsible for this, what the hell do you expect me to say? After all, I've said it before. His play clock, his clock management, decision making is just fucking awful. He thought by getting a guy in Eric Bieniemy, he would change, he would neutralize that, he would offset that. And in this game, that wasn't the case. It's just fucking embarrassing. And you know how physical of a runner Brian Robinson is. You know what a difference he can make for our team. Robert, see, no, folks, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad in the motherfucker. You couldn't run the ball with him more? It's fucking unacceptable. Absolutely fucking unacceptable on the part on Eric Bieniemy and on Ron Rivera. Knowing that Brian Robinson was running the ball well, you didn't even allow him to do what he did best. 10 carries. Collectively, you only had 13. That's your problem right there as well. That's the problem. Sacks the offensive line is allowed. I said before, folks, I'll say it again. Sam Howell, right now, is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL currently. It's the truth. He was sacked 9 times in that game. 9. I mean, you can't win this way if your quarterback is constantly getting hit. And prior to the season, this is one of the concerns that I had with Washington. How is the offensive line going to protect Sam Howell? They can't. They can't protect him for shit. They cannot give him any protection. I mean, damn, Washington needs to have more security. What does Washington need to do? Hire police, hire security to help protect Sam Howell? Like, how can you, as an offensive line, give up that many sacks? And also on Sam Howell. You got to get rid of the fucking ball. Get rid of the ball. I don't care. If there's pressure, throw the ball away. Throw it to the ground. I don't even give a fuck if it's intentional grounding or shit. Live for another day because the way you're getting hit, man, the way Sam Howell is getting hit, it's probably not going to last for the rest of the season. I don't care, even if we get Caleb Williams or any other quarterback, there's no way any quarterback is going to succeed with that offensive line. But after the season, offensive line must, absolutely must be a huge priority for this team. Because you cannot tell me we can win if our quarterback is getting constantly hit. That is just unacceptable by our offensive line. Sam Howell's still in his first year as a starter. You got to get rid of the ball, man. You just got to find a way to get rid of the ball. Live for another play. I mean, our offensive line is just shitty as hell, man. They are really that bad. I just, and it's only going to get even worse, folks. You thought yesterday was bad. Wait until what the Commanders are going to have to deal with this upcoming Sunday as they travel on the road to face the Philadelphia Eagles. Their arch rivals at Lincoln Financial Field, going up against Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and right now who is playing out of his mind as a rookie, Jalen Carter. I mean, this team, this offensive line is just shitty as hell, man. And I don't know what to say. Then here's our other problem with the Commanders and why we also lost this game. Our defense. I've been raving how great this defensive line, how elite this defensive line is. When healthy and as constructed with a Jonathan Allen, Duron Payne, Montez Sweat, Chase Young. This is an excellent defensive line who can generate the pass, who can stop, who can get after quarterbacks, who can make quarterbacks' life a living hell. And ironically, folks, as great as that D line was, Josh Allen was not even sacked. Not one time. Not one time in that game was sacked. Not one. He was not even sacked not one time in that game. That's just fucking unacceptable. Whether if Washington struggles against mobile quarterbacks, when you have a defensive line as stacked as we do, there's no fucking excuse for us not to get one sack. Yes, we all know how dynamic Josh Allen is as a quarterback. But this is just fucking unacceptable. Sorry again, folks, technical difficulties. I know how great Josh Allen is as a talent. Argue he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. But to not get a sack in that game, fucking unacceptable. Nah. Our secondary, that's another problem as well. And I'll get into our secondary later on. Our defensive line, man, no. Not one time you couldn't get a sack. It's just unacceptable. Fucking unacceptable for this team. Again, folks, still, I'm dealing with some technical difficulties at my house. But this is just putrid, man. Not one time you couldn't get a sack. Not one time you couldn't get Josh Allen on the ground? Nah. This is fucking embarrassing, man. I mean, this was supposed to this was supposed to be a statement ass game by the Commanders. This was supposed to be a game that if the Commanders won, people can look at us and say, okay, you know what? This team is actually really good. This is a team that can actually make some noise. This is a team that can actually do some things. And that wasn't demonstrated yesterday. This was a great opportunity for the Commanders to win, shut critics up, to show people that this team is capable of making the playoffs and being a serious contender in the NFC East. Yesterday, that damn sure wasn't the fucking case. Damn sure wasn't the fucking case. It was absolutely a fucking disgraceful, embarrassment, horrendous performance, offense and on defense. It was just clearly an awful performance on both sides of the football field. This is what you give Commanders fans who actually took time in the rain because it was raining like hell throughout the weekend. Actually, come watch this garbage ass product? No. Fucking unacceptable, man. And then the secondary. Secondary has not. We keep giving up too many big plays. Now we didn't see too many big offensive plays like we saw last week against Denver, but still killing us, man. I mean, I just secondary man is giving us problems. I mean, the Stephon Diggs was gonna play elite. 8 receptions, 111 yards, and even though I like Emmanuel Forbes and he's a rookie, but you see what Christian Gonzalez has been doing for the New England Patriots. And you saw the type of job he did on one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL in Garrett Wilson. Yes, Garrett Wilson has Zach Wilson throwing him the football. You saw what Christian Gonzalez did to Garrett Wilson, man. This is why I tried, and this is why I said, man, it's going to haunt me. It's going to come and haunt me because we had a chance to draft Christian Gonzalez. Yeah, man, this is it. Jesus Christ. Sorry, folks. I just got a awful. I just need to get some things off my chest, man. I feel like I'm in therapy mode, man. They just kicked our ass. The Buffalo Bills just flat out kicked our ass. Ran the ball well. They only committed one turnover. We had too many interceptions. The lost fumble. Offensive play calling was just that putrid. And I think next week it's going to be even worse because we got to go against the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, man, this is it's just bad. I'm trying to figure out which loss was more embarrassing, this one or Denver's loss yesterday to the Miami Dolphins, in which the Miami Dolphins hung 70 points against that Denver Broncos defense, or the Cowboys losing to the Cardinals. When the Cowboys, I think they were like a 12.5-point favorite to win that game. I'm trying to figure out what type of silver lining are we going does Washington have? What type of fucking silver lining are we going to have? mean, are you fucking kidding me? Get offensive and defensive players who are my MVP. Ain't nobody getting no fucking MVP. Not after that performance. No, that was just disgraceful, man. All right, folks. Again, still dealing with technical difficulties in my house. That was just fucking unacceptable, man. It was an absolutely disgraceful performance. That's why the name of the episode, folks, is Disgraceful. DC fans, Commanders fans, they deserve so much more, man. And to see us lose like that, if we had lost this game, like let's say 30-23, although I do not like losing, you could look at it and say moral victory. You know what? The Commanders are a lot better than what we give them credit for. Moral victory, or whatever you may want to, whatever argument you can make for the Commanders. At least they're competitive. At least they're trying. At least they're competing. At least they're doing whatever they can. But yesterday, that was a fucking ass embarrassing performance. God awful. How can you lose like that? How can you get beat like that? You're at home. And to lose like that, Commanders got to think about a better way in order for them to have a short-term memory and move on. So my takeaways, folks, the reason why the Commanders lost this game, how many damn turnovers we fucking committed. Other problems that we had, not running the football. Eric Bieniemy, man, that's on you, bro. That's on you, bro. I give you credit. I've said it before. I defended you. I said the moment when we acquired you, I thought this was going to be great, and this is going to be a great opportunity to show folks Eric Bieniemy can be the guy for us. I even advocated that after this season, he should be the head coach. He fucking let us down with your terrible ass play calling, not running the football enough, trying to act like it's Kansas City. It's not. Sam Howell was awful yesterday. He was awful. He's now currently leads the NFL. As I said, he's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL currently. His performance was bad, and I feel like he's going to have some growing pains. I don't want to be too hard on Sam Howell because this is his first year as a starter. But boy, you got to get rid of that fucking football when you're under pressure. Just get rid of the football. Go out of bounds, throw the ball away, or whatever. I don't, like I said, I don't even give a fuck if it's intentional grounding or anything. You gotta live for another day. And you're getting constantly hit. I mean, hits that you're taking, man, I'm not even sure if you're gonna last for the remainder of the season. Don't be surprised, Commanders fans. At some point in time, you're gonna put in Jacoby Brissett. Then our offensive line, man, that was just awful. It doesn't matter who we put at quarterback. There is no way you can overcome incompetent, awful offensive line. Quarterback can't throw on his back. I mean, man, it was just bad. And then, of course, our defense. Not one time we couldn't get a fucking sack. Not one fucking time we couldn't get a sack on Josh Allen. Not one time. Fucking disgrace, man. I mean, it's disgrace. It's like I said, folks, the name of the episode is Disgraceful. Because Commanders fans, we deserve so much better. I wouldn't be mad if we lost, if it were a close game, but the way that we lost, garbage, putrid, unacceptable. I'm still thinking about which loss was more embarrassing. Denver's loss to Miami, and the Miami offense hung 70 points, or the Cowboys loss to Arizona. Which loss was more embarrassing? That's what I'm also trying to think about, just in order for me to try my best to move on, folks. I don't know. But bottom line, folks, that concludes the rest of the Sports PSP podcast. I'm actually going to be out of town. I'm going to be heading to New Orleans on Wednesday. I'm going to try to see if I can do the podcast, Commanders Demand podcast, somewhere around Thursday, probably Thursday afternoon or Thursday night. Give my predictions for the Commanders versus Eagles game. So stay tuned on that. Also, folks, you know where to follow me, folks. Sports PSP Podcast. Please go like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as my IG, as well as my TikTok, Sports PSP3. Latest episode, Underdog, has come out. Of course, the Sports PSP podcast every Friday nights at 10 p.m. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Folks, sorry. I mean, very emotional, very embarrassed from yesterday's performance against Buffalo. I wish I was in a happy, joyful mood or in a better mood, but clearly I am not. And I hope that it'll get much better, but I'm afraid it's only going to get even worse. So, anyway, folks, that concludes the rest of the Sports PSP podcast. Enjoy the rest of your day and peace.